Welcome to a new video. Today is something kinda different. As yesterday we concluded the Christmas countdown, the 6th and final Christmas countdown, and I want to record a video to kind of reflect back on the 6 years that I've run it. I have done a Christmas series every year, but well, this year will be the last of the what was the, I guess still is, current format of the Christmas countdown. I've done it for 6 years of building 24 builds over 24 days leading up to Christmas Day. Some of those years I did, most of the years I've done 25 days. But I've looked at the pictures of every Christmas town that I've worked on throughout the years, and I can say I've changed. The way I've built over the 6 years has changed so much. But I have covered so much ground also. The countdown has spanned over 4 servers over those 6 years. Which is kind of crazy. 2 of them were in the same world. They were on the same server and on the same world, so that, yeah. But I also did it on 2 SMPs 2 years back to back, which was interesting. But yeah, I do just want to say also that I decided that this would be the last year that I'd be doing the countdown, because they've started becoming quite a lot of work to get done. And well, I want to be able to record other videos and not just have to focus on this for a month. So that's a bit of why going into 2026 there will not be a 24-day Christmas countdown. I'm most likely, though, going to do a 12-day countdown, but I'm not entirely certain as to how I'm going to do that yet. As well, we are still pretty much a year away, so things will be just figured out. I always like doing a Christmas series. And the main reason why I started was I wanted to do something special in the holiday season. And well, I've done that for 6 straight years. Well, technically 12, being that I have done one every year. Just the first several years I kept bouncing from different things. But I started with the first one, which was in the Inator Season 2 world, and that was not that long after that season actually started, being that it started in September of that year, and it ran 5-ish years, actually. Just kind of funny. But that was the first countdown I did. I have a picture up of it. It definitely is, I think, the smallest out of all of them, as I didn't go too hard into it. I was still rather busy back then, but it was fun. I quite enjoyed it, and that even though I'm not that good of a builder, some things I built in that countdown stayed for future countdowns, including the very first workshop. That design, which is visible in that picture, that design stayed for, I do believe, 2 more. I don't know if it's visible in any of the other pictures, but I'm pretty certain a variation of it was used in at least the next one, and I think a part of it was used in the one following. But after that, I kind of came up with new designs. But this year, this was the first one, and it was weird. It was different. I used I used a resource pack for it, and it made everything look like snowy. But that's why it doesn't look that good. As well, that resource pack I lost. I don't have it anymore. And well, that's what it looks like without the resource pack. It doesn't look great. But moving on from that, we moved to the second year, which moved to the big server at the time, which was the Inator Village server. And this was one of 2 that I ran there. And it was the biggest one, biggest undertaking. I think honestly I would still count it as that, as I stayed up hours at night flattening land just before recording the next day, which admittedly was rather stupid. But I decided 2 years in a row to do a ski resort, and well, this was the first one, and I really liked the area. I don't know if I would have done it as like, well, a countdown. Like if it come to now, I don't think I'd do it as that. But you might be wondering, I said there was a workshop. There was a little mini village that I built with like Santa's village. I did build a very small one. It's on a raised snow platform. I don't have a picture of that. I looked, but yeah. This was the second year, and it jumped up in size rather fast. But obviously, the first year, I didn't really know what I was doing. I didn't know if I would do it again, but I obviously really liked doing it. And well, I went back to it. And well, yeah. Then immediately the next year was when I built the next one at a ski resort style on the same server, actually not that far away from the other one. But this one actually also marked a very big moment. It was the first countdown and first time ever that actually ended up using Pigeon Cam. It was brought in about midway, and it helped with pretty much the rest, and it's still the way I record the majority of my time lapses to this day. It helped with all the time lapses this year, and even though they were different, but still was there. But this one also did have a Santa's Village. Not visible. Even though pretty much most of it is visible on in this picture. There's just a very few builds that weren't. Being that this one spanned a lot of ground. But this brown building right in the middle of this lower section, yeah, that's Santa's Village. I don't even need to fact check that. I know that it is, because I spent a lot of hours in on this server. It was around, spent like 9 years on that, so but yeah, so that was the third year. So the first 3 years, I did kind of keep it simple. Like, really simple. They weren't that. second and third year, yes, but rather large. But the first year was rather small. Then I moved to the next 2 years. They jumped up in size. Still small when you compare them to like today, this year's. But well, area wise, I think this one that's currently still up, this one I think still covers the most amount of ground. Just for well how far I reached. But I think still none of them are like as big in one area as this year's and last year's. Being that they were the first two that I pretty much just kept everything together. But moving on to the next one. This one was the first one that I did in an SMP. It was actually done just like a couple months before High Worlds began. And I broke it up into two different sections between where I was calling the actual like main hub. This was where I actually like stayed. And this was, I think, the back half of the countdown was focused here. But I will say this one still has a sour point. I never fully finished it. As well, this it's a mountain, as you can tell. It's floating. It's floating, but not just in the sense of the entire platform that's like built that's floating, but the actual mountain itself, it's not there. It was supposed to be built. It's not there. You can see a little bit of it right here. This is supposed to come down, but no, there's nothing there. It's floating. And this was also, I think, the first year I decimated a village to build it. So that's happened a lot now. Well, 3 times. Twice, 2 times this year. But yeah, this was the one that really brought the size up, and well, the next one went to High Worlds, and well, I don't really have any like really good full pictures of it. But this one, until this year, was the biggest. It covered a lot of ground, and it was all stuck together. And I still think this is probably one of the best. I don't think it's as good anymore as well this year's. I think this year's is a lot better than last year's. But I still really like it. I liked that I went with more of a red tone, and I went with mud and brick, which I had not touched. I barely actually have had used mud before this. Well, I used a decent amount of it in season 1 of High Worlds, but I didn't use it in the scale of which that I used it in this countdown in 24. Then well, then that was also the first year I did a, I guess, grandish tour of it at the end, when I brought in others from High Worlds and we did a tour of it. That was the first time I did that. And well, I liked it, so we did that again this year. That released yesterday. But of course, this is what we did this year. It is the biggest countdown I've ever done. It covers by far the most amount of land, and I I I still really think I did a stellar job with this one, and I didn't do it alone. I had help with 2 days, and And I got suggestions from comments for other details that you guys would have saw yesterday if you have seen the tour. I know it released on Christmas Day, so I don't think a lot of you would have seen it then. But if you haven't, if you have time, go ahead and watch it after this video. But this countdown, in my view, was a very good way to wrap it all up. I think I did a very good job in, well, ending it. And as much as it's a pain to like end the countdown like after 6 years, I think it's right. I feel like this isn't fully it. I feel like eventually I will return to the 24-day format. Just I don't. It's not gonna be next year. I don't physically. I think have enough time to put together 24 builds for 24 days. As much as I'd want to do that, I don't think I can. Not for the seventh is not for a seventh year. I have an idea. And if I end up feeling that I do have enough time and that I can possibly do it, I won't hesitate to actually do it. But I'm just saying there's the chances are very low that that happens. But I'm just gonna say it's most likely gonna be a 12-day countdown next year, and I'm probably gonna involve more people in it because the larger days are really what kind of got me this year, as one of them literally took 3 days. Now I am aware, add more people to that probably would have taken longer, but like uh when I was doing these lower houses, I could have involved people and from I could have involved ever most from High Worlds and interior designing. I didn't. I didn't involve many until like midway. But just wanting to say I have really liked making these countdowns, and I have loved seeing the support they've gotten over this year and last year. These were, I think, the two best years view wise. But well, this year didn't have that strong of views compared to, well, last year, but that would have been a little bit hard. Last year made quite the impression. Several broke 100 views. um, that I think though this year tidied it up to the point that I think I can end it. I think I can end it on a good note, and I did, and I did a good job. I involved designs from previous years also. I was wanting to include more, but I didn't. If I do end up doing the seventh one next year, which is very highly unlikely, do expect probably more to make an appearance from previous countdowns and more people to appear. But that's pretty much it for me. I just want to reflect and kind of show how far the countdowns come over all these years. It's definitely been quite the journey. I will definitely say that. But all adventures have to come to an end eventually, and this is the end of the countdown. The very end. So I guess you can call this the like full finale, I guess, of the entire series. But if there ends up being a seventh next year, then this isn't. But I'm just saying there's a high chance this is probably at least for probably a couple years until I probably think about bringing it back and being that I'm pretty busy right now. But that's gonna do it for me today. as I have rambled for a while. But I hope you all have had a very very good holiday, and I know New Year's is coming up. I do plan to release a video every day until New Year's. I don't entirely know how that's going to pan out. And as of this video, also the countdown world may or may not be up on the High World site. I thought final if this really is gonna be the final year, I might as well put it up. So it should go up, and if it does, I will make a community post. But that's gonna do it. I hope you guys have a good rest of the holiday, and if I don't see you in the rest of it, I should there should be a video tomorrow. I don't know what it'll be at the moment. Originally, I was gonna do another countdown series, countdown to New Year's, but I'm not. I don't think I have enough time on my schedule to actually do that. But I'm recording this on the 25th. Tomorrow's the 26th. I'm supposed to be starting it on the 27th if I want to do it. So if I end up doing it, that'll happen. You'll find out on the 27th. But if I don't end up doing it, I've told you that I've kind of gotten a little busy, but I think we've ended the countdown in a good way, and I think this is a good way to like fully wrap it up. I think. So, on that will do it for me today. And I hope you all have had a good holiday. And I will see you all in the next video. Whenever that should be. It should be tomorrow. But if I can't come up with anything, it won't be. I should be able to come up with something. But and if I don't, you know why. There isn't a video. So, I'll see you all next video. Don't know what, but I will see you all then. Goodbye, everyone.